Hey y'all, it's Diane with Shawcraft One in my old barn door, and I just came to do a tutorial. I had a couple people ask me how to make the tags or journal cards that I make with these flower pages of the books that some of you ladies bought. So I thought I would just come on real quick and give you a quick little tutorial on how I do them. They're really easy to make, and when I started playing with them, of course, ideas started flooding my head. So we're just going to get started, and I'll show you a couple of different ones that I've done and give you some ideas, and then you can run with it from there because you guys are very creative, so I know that you'll be able to do them as well. So basically, I just take the sheet, I cut it out of the book, and then I just take it and I trim it down so that you have this piece and you have this piece. Okay, now don't throw this piece away because you can use it to make a tag. This piece, I always look and I go, man, I don't know which side I want to use because they're pretty on both sides. If you run into that problem, throw them on your printer and make a copy of them. That way you don't feel bad that you've lost some of the images. So it's real easy, just cut them out, throw them on the printer, and then you'll have a copy of one side of them. So then I take this piece, and there's several different things that you can do with it. You can either glue it to coffee dyed paper, like I've done with this one. And usually I try to leave them whole to glue them down just because it's easier to cut that way. So I just take a glue stick, run some glue, and I don't put a lot of glue because I'm sewing them. If you don't have a sewing machine, go ahead and make sure you get your edges real good so that the edges don't come up. So you want to make sure that you get all the way to the edges. I don't worry about it, like I say, because I'm gonna sew them on there. So I just throw some glue on there, flip it over, and stick him down. And I usually you can use a bone folder or an old gift card or what have you to make sure that you get a good hold. And it doesn't have to be perfect, as you can see. I'm crooked, but that's okay because we're just going to trim it out anyway. Okay, so we've got that on the coffee dyed paper. So then I'm just going to trim this out. And I'm going to be a little more careful now trimming because sometimes it doesn't always line up right. So I'm just going to make sure that I can get it good and lined up the way I want it to be. And I want a little bit of an edge so I have room to do my sewing. Let's see, that's not real straight either, so have to do a little bit of finagling to make sure you get a good straight cut. Or it don't have to be straight. I mean, it's yours. If you want a crooked one, you go for it. I'm sure you could do something really creative and make it look super cute crooked. Okay, and then I'm going to cut off the page number, but I'm going to leave the words because that gives you the name of the flower. These in particular ones are roses. Okay, so you got all the edges cut off, and then I'm going to go here and cut the middle. And you'll wind up with a tag like that. And then cut the rest on this one. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of an edge for sewing. And mine will probably be crooked too. Yep, that one's a little crooked, but we'll fix that once we sew it. Okay, so get rid of this. So then you wind up with this. And then you're just going to take it over to the sewing machine and sew around the edges. If you don't have a sewing machine, I will show you something else that you can do. Get a marker. Any kind of marker, whatever color you want. I'm going to use pink just for video purposes. Let me trim that up first, just to make it a little more straight. Now, y'all know I can't cut straight, so I'm acting like I know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. I just don't do it so well, being left-handed. Yeah, that's not, we're not even going to try. We'll trim it up with the trimmer later. So anyway, just take your little marker and you can make your little stitch marks. I got glue on my finger. So you just do a little stitch marks all the way around. Get creative, guys. You can do this. It's very easy. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's the thing that I love about journals and items that you put in journals. They don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. And it's really perfect for me because I'm never perfect at anything. So with these, you know, you can just do your own little stitches around it. You can ink around the edges. What I usually do is you can leave this as a whole card, or I like to have like different size cards. So I'll take and cut the top one off, and it can be just a little journal card. And then I'll use the bottom one for a little bit longer of a journal card. So you have two, you can make two or you can make three. You can cut this one off and you can make it all three, you know, 3 different ones. So it's basically however you want to do it. It is your preference. So I'm going to run to the sewing machine and sew this real quick, and I'll be right back. Now, so I've got it sewn around the edges, and I always like to put like a little piece of lace or something at the top just to give it like a little topper. And so this is what you have when you're finished. So you can journal inside here, and then you have your little decoration at the top. You can add decorations to this. You can put your little flower up here, whatever you want to do. I mean, I know you ladies are very creative and you will come up with some beautiful stuff, so I'm excited to see what y'all do with it. Now what I do is I'll take ink. Let me use this one. Take just a little bit of ink, and I just go around and ink the edges. The great thing about ink is it covers up the fact that I can't cut straight. That's my favorite part about it. So you just go around, do your edges. And I would probably suggest, if you're going to put the lace at the top, I would suggest inking before you do that. I didn't, so it'll be okay. There are no mistakes in journal making. And I just kind of like to put my ink on real sloppy, because I pretty much do everything real sloppy. And I'm going to fold him down and see if I can get a little at the top. Okay, so then you ink your edges, and there you have a pretty little journal card. Super cute, super simple. So some other things that you can do with them, you can, if you don't have a sewing machine, you can glue your lace at the top. You can still do the same thing without a sewing machine that you can with a sewing machine. You just don't have the thread involved. Okay, so you don't have to have a sewing machine to make them pretty. So there's those. If you don't want to do the coffee dyed paper, you can take a piece of your scrap paper. Just any little piece of your scrap paper. Now I'll show you something that I did. This is one of the other side of the book pages. It doesn't have the flowers on it. So I put this in my printer and I tried to copy the roses, the pictures that were on the back side of the one that I was going to make the tag with. And for some reason my printer did this funky thing where it made them really, really small. I don't know why. I'll have to figure out why. So then I thought, well, let me try it on some, you know, some designer paper. Well, it did good, but I don't like the way the colors turned out. So just kind of left that. But anyways, play around with it, guys. There's so many different things that you can do. So many things that you can do. Alright, so then another thing that I did, and I don't think this is dry yet, but you can take, hang on, let me just lay that down for a second. So you take this piece. Where did it go? So I took a piece of the one that had the words, and I just found me a pretty little image. This is of flowers, and I just stamped over the words just to make it a little prettier. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. And again, I'm not going to be real careful with the glue because I'm going to sew. But if you're not going to sew, make sure you get your edges real good so they don't pop up. Okay, so just slap some glue on there. Slap it down to your designer paper or your whatever paper you want to put it on. You can coffee dye these if you want to coffee dye them. Stick them in the coffee and dry them in the oven or dry them in the sunshine, and so many different things that you can do with these. Okay, so then I'm going to scoot these over to the side. I'm just going to trim this one up. And I don't want so much of that white showing over there, so we're going to do it that way. I hope I'm in frame. I'm not even paying attention. I'm just working away. I don't think I need that note at the bottom. Okay, so then you have that on the back. Now, got a little piece extra over here, so let's just go ahead and cut that off as well. I don't know what it is about this trimmer, but it never wants to trim straight. Maybe it's because it's mine, because you know, maybe it's a left-handed trimmer. Okay, so you have your colored paper on the back side, and then you have your stamped image on the front side. Or this can be the back side, however you want to do it. You can actually write over this with marker or gesso it, and then you'll be able to, you know, to write over it. You'll be able to stamp over it. There's just so much you can do with them. So many ideas running through my head right now since she asked me to do this tutorial, and I'm like, whoa, I don't think I can do all of that in one video. So I'm just giving you ideas. Paint gesso on it so that you can journal on it. All different kinds of things. So you can sew around this. You can cut it down and make it smaller. You can cut it like right here and make 2 tags out of it. Stamp another image up here. So sew around it. Ink around the edges. Well, we'll just ink around the edges now because I'm going to use these in my journals I'm making. So we'll go ahead and ink it. Probably need to ink it on this side too. I'm not going to ink it a whole lot because there's not a whole lot of white where you can actually see the ink. Okay, so this can be a tag that you can poke down into a pocket or a tuck. You can also take like these little notepads that you get from the dollar store. Take these little notepads and you can take 2 or 3 pages, and I'm going to make my tag about the same height as my notebook pages. So let's just cut him off. And re-ink him. Okay. Whoops. So you can sew this with a piece of lace sticking up from the top, and that way you've got this cute journal card or cute tag on the front and then a space to journal on the back. Or if you don't have a sewing machine, take your hole punch. Find my hole punch. And make you 2 little holes up here. Just kind of, I just eyeball it. So I'm going to punch a hole there. And then I'm going to come over here. Try to line it up as best you can. And punch a hole there. And then I'm going to take a piece of ribbon. Pull it through, take the other end, pull it through, make sure it's straight, and then just tie it in a bow, and you have a little booklet that you can tuck into a journal. And I'm fumble fingers because I'm on video. That tied backwards, but I'll fix it. So anyways, you can make you a little booklet like that. These are supposed to be down this way, but you know, it didn't tie right because I'm on video. So you can do that way. So there's 3 ideas. Then I did another one. Where is it? Oh, okay. So I took one of these, just the regular book pages with no pictures. And I took one of these little notepads that you get from the dollar store, took a piece off, glued it down, sewed around it, put some lace at the top, inked the edges, put a stamp, and you got a sweet little journaling card. So there's idea 4. And then last but not least, and it's of course not the last idea that you can do with it, but take you a napkin, Mod Podge a napkin to it, and then let me see if I can find a color that kind of matches those tulips that are on there. Y'all, I found these napkins yesterday at Tuesday morning, and oh my goodness, they had some of the prettiest napkins. So y'all be looking for those in my shop, because I think what I'm going to do is make packs, like variety packs of napkins to put in my shop, because it's hard to find variety packs of napkins. They're all usually the same thing, and you know, you can't use 20 or 50 napkins up, you know. So I thought, well, I'm just gonna get them and then use them, you know, pull out a few for me and then share them in my shop. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so this one right here, I like this. So I'm just going to cut this one out. Now, this is not dry yet, so I'm not going to be able to complete it, but I will be able to somewhat show you. So basically, you take the one side with your picture, and then you take the book page side that you've Mod Podged, and you glue those together. Of course, you know, once this dries, I'll be able to cut all of this off, and it'll look normal. Right now, it don't look normal. And then you glue them together, so you'll have a good thick little tag. And I'm not going to glue them together right now because I really need this to dry before I try and glue them together. So glue them together, you trim them down, and then you sew around them, or you do your little stitch marks like this one. You know, decorate it the way you want to decorate it, but they just turn out so super cute. And they're just great little tags to tuck into your, you know, your little journals. Then, one last idea. I have, me and my grandbaby, I had my grandbaby this past weekend. She is, she's 2. And she's just now, she loves to color, and she'll tell you, I want to write my name. She can't write her name, but she likes to write or draw or whatever. So, and I love it because she's left-handed like me. None of my kids were left-handed, so I got my grandbaby that's left-handed. But anyway, so I asked her, she spent the night with us Saturday and Sunday, and so I asked her if she wanted to paint, and she said yes. So we went outside, and I laid a paint tarp in the front yard, and I took some Kool-Aid out there and gave her a paintbrush and some paper and just let her go at it. And then we took the sprays and we sprayed, and she thought that was the best thing under the sun, guys. So she helped me do this Kool-Aid dyed paper, and I don't know if you can see how shimmery this is, but it's got some shimmers in it. So anyway, we had a good time making this. But I said all that to say, you can take this, glue it to some Kool-Aid dyed paper if you don't want to do coffee dyed paper. So glue it down. That'll be the back of your journal card. That'll be the front. Won't that be pretty? So, like I say, all kinds of different ideas that you can do with these little journal cards. So these are just a few. So you can use lined paper. You can even just use notebook paper. It's yours. You do it however you want to do it. You can do your faux stitching, and you can do it on both sides. I just did it on one side to kind of show you the idea of it. You can put lace on this. You don't have to put it at the top. Put it at the side. Put it at the bottom. Wherever you want to put the lace. You know, there's another one. There's the little booklet kind. And y'all, I didn't do the best job on that. That one's a little bit crooked, so I'll do some fixing on that before I put it in a journal. But anyway, and then there's that one that's just plain. I don't think we actually did anything with it. And then, you know, the Kool-Aid backed paper. So those are the tags that I do from the book pages of the books that you ladies bought. So I hope this helps. Let me know if it works for you. I'd love to see some of your videos of you making these. That would be awesome. So let me know if you post a video. Put a link to it in this video in the comments section. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment, show me some love, and you guys have an awesome, awesome day.